Good afternoon, friends. Florida History Hunter. And we were out in the slash pines. Palmetto and slash pines. You can see that a lot of these trees have been singed. And that's a normal cycle that happens naturally. But now the state, I presume the state manages this area now, and they may do control burns. So it's been probably at least a year since there was a fire here, maybe two, because all the lower vegetation's recovered. But these palm trees are very resilient. And when a good rain or two, and they're almost back to normal, and the pine trees, once the fire doesn't burn for extended periods of time, they're pretty immune to it too. And everything that's laying on the floor of the forest. Oh look, there's an actual trail right there going down into a gully. That's something I'm gonna explore some other time, maybe. But excuse me, as I was saying, a fire stimulates new growth, and so you get a lot of these like lower plants and stuff like those right there. That start growing, and then a lot of the wildflowers come up at the same time. Eventually this slopes down to the creek, and so there's an animal vertebrae right there, another piece right there, Sometimes those are natural kills, and sometimes they're dump kills. It's just one of those areas that people do poach, and here's a spot that had eggs in it. They got dug up. A spot right there. Or it could be what I call a chicken picking spot. Some bird could have been picking up dust, like turkey. Turkeys do that stuff. Turkeys take like sand baths. So it's real fun to watch them do it too. Let's get the view back up trail, and I'm continuously watching the ground because as they move dirt around and bring in fill and stuff, like weird pieces of rock show up. I mean, this is probably a natural concretion, but it's got like this hole that goes clean through it. And so I wonder how that is, how that happened. A lot of this stuff gets dug up from old Indian sites, and then they come over here and they dump it out west here. I've known many people that were out on hikes and walking down trails and stuff, and they find projectile points. I actually walked over one time. Didn't have a clue it was there. Being truthful, as always. It's a lot easier to remember the truth, people, than try to fabricate and remember every time that you tell somebody something that you're just saying a bunch of bullshit. Okay, so now if I remember, we turn right. There's a ravine right here. Some big ass ravine. People don't know that this is here. And down we go. Down, down, down. Down, down. And we're in the ravine. And down here we can see remnants of the old Shell Road. It's called Shell Road. I can see where there's some actual like old brick right here, old rock. I was marking the edge of the old Shell Road. And this road was put in probably, I don't know, let's say, early 1900s. A frog. I just heard like a squeak. It did get me jumping. Yep. Now one thing, horse flies are heavy. They're already trying to land on me. Means I must have a hole in my fabric. Not feeling like getting bit by those flies that big. I say El Crapo and that kind of nonsense. Alright, I want to get down here and see what we got here. Hard to tell. Let's just carry. That's fish scale right there. This is just shell. Shell and more shell. But get the hell out of this swamp. Look, here's a collection zone. Everything was piling up in this spot right here. This is all shell. This whole thing. Just piles and piles of shell. And more shell and more shell. All shell. And as soon as you come up right here at the top of this ridge, we're in Lake Woodruff territory. And, you know, looks like a trail heading down into the swamp right there. So we're gonna save that. Take note. And save that for another day. So we start coming down here. And right here, you hit shell from here all the way over to that other ridge. All the way over to here somewhere. Out here. There's actually another ridge right there. So, this upper one, at one time, this one right here, may have been, what is this? It's a ketchup bottle. $1987. This is flat enough to have been a railroad bed right here. And this is road but flat. And all the shell debris that I see is all coastal shell. So by the wagon load, or better yet, they shovel it in by train and then moved it over here by wagon. Yep, this is all heavy brack and salt. Well, there's an interesting one. I'm not a shell person, but I think that's a money maker right there. There's a good sharp wall right there. Here there's some donkey tail. I think that's what this is called. I think it's a donkey tail fern. Just check this wall out right here. See what its composition is. And it is all shell. Small shell. But like really small shell. Right there. And lots of crushed. Extremely crushed. See a soda bottle out there. IVC. What is this? I'm going to say modern beer bottle. Small oak hammock. beer bottles. That's how it was with a lot of bottle hunters. We always seemed for a really long time, we always finding like Budweiser bottles from the late 1800s and early 1900s. You know, I don't know about anybody else's collection, but mine was sure getting out of control really fast. So I nipped it in the butt and decided to keep one or two and make room for one or two of everything. Like the Noah's Ark of bottles. The beautiful Friday, 23rd of May. We're basically in Glenwood. That's what we can consider Glenwood, Florida. And hiking out to one of the creeks that leads out into the St. John's eventually. It's one of, I think it's just sort of one of the dead ends coming out towards Glenwood. Out here it's like beach. Total 100% beach sand. Heavily coarse small shell beach sand. Look at that. A lot of it, because I can see where it's doing its wash that way. I can see it all the way out in there. There's been carry off. And just took an observation now. We've lost our ridges and stuff that were following us. So they turned someplace. Both sides of this we're walking on right now. We'll sit down in a valley. We're gonna pass under a old live oak and starting to see cypress knees. So, where is the tree? Whose knees are these? I don't know. I don't see who owns that. That's oak right there. That's a palm right there. That's an oak right there. Cypress trees have needles. There's one right there. Yeah. It's not leaves, it's all fragile looking up at the sky. Whew. Okay, so check it out. We're at a heavily traveled point right here. There's one right there. Another cypress. Good size one too. And here's our boundary for National Wildlife Refuge. Prohibited and unauthorized entry prohibited, no hunting until they have a hunt, and then you pay and go in from the other way. That's a nice cypress right there. A lot of birds fluttering around the top, and that's a good 100-year-old tree. Nice. Nice that it hasn't been molested. Got a point of interest up here, my friends. We're going to stop here and we're going to talk about this. And so this is really cool right here. And this is a tree that's going to tell us a story. My stick's a little over 4 feet tall. There's a light water mark right there holding water for at least 5 or 6 months. There's another stain right there down, which was holding water for like a year or more. There's another stain right there. Now it's dry. I think somebody left the plug out of the tub and they're letting all our water out. So here's a nice little cluster, cypress knees. So do we say high knees? No, we say they're low knees. Because my knee is higher than your knee. So I got the high knee, and you got the low knee. Alright, so we're coming out on this point right now, and I see right there, old planted bamboo. And the only reason bamboo would have been planted here is that if there was a house here. And that's the only reason that bamboo would be here. Somewhere around these parts, somebody was living and they planted that bamboo for their property. So when they came up creek, they can easily navigate their boat ashore. And that's a for sure thing. For sure, ashore. Somewhere around here with a house. I'm just offering this feather to the beautiful day that we're having today. Being grateful that I can still get out and still do the things that I like to do, and to share my passion with all my followers.